Hey guys, welcome back to Sip and Dip with Chelsea. During today's video, I will be playing with Revel Nails' latest launch, which is their Overlay Trio. I was so excited to see this on my doorstep because I have never done the speckled egg look, so I am gonna give it a go today. My nails are prepped, they're ready, I have peel base on, so let's go do some color blocking and some Easter nails. Here's the color lineup. I'll be using Lush, which is this beautiful green, Chow, which is from their Wanderlust collection, Tiff, which is a beautiful blue, and I actually decided to not use Blake, so I changed my mind at the last minute and decided to not use it, and then also Ballet. This is the overlay I selected, so Spotted, and then for the neutral shade, I grabbed Gold Digger. I'll also be using Revel Nails liquids, so I have my Pro Base here, and now we can start. I've got my cupcake liner to pour over, and I'll be using Ballet first. We'll be doing some freehand color block today, so I'm just guiding the liquid back on one half of my nail, pulling it down in a slow, straight line down the center of my nail, and then going all the way over to those sidewalls, making sure I'm covering this half of my nail without getting the product on my skin. Next, I pour the powder over top and I let it sit there for a second to absorb into the liquid and then tap it off. If you want to crispen up your line, you can use a tool, any sort. I have my cuticle pusher here and I'm just gently pushing the product back into a straight line anywhere that I see fit. And then because that can create a ridge because you are pushing the product, make sure to gently tap it back down. Once it's dry, I dust everything off. Now I'm going to start on the other half with Gold Digger. So I'm going to follow those same steps, making sure I get the liquid up to that line, but not overlapping it. I want the colors to touch, but not overlap. Making sure I get all the way to the sidewall again, then pouring the powder over top. And that is it for the color part. Now I start on my overlay, so I'm just putting the Pro Base in the center of the pink, not all the way up to the line and not all the way on my sidewall. Then I pour the glitter over top. The reason I don't go all the way to the line is because I don't want the glitter pieces overlapping into that Gold Digger section, just gently tapping it down to make sure I don't have anything sticking up, and that's it. Once it's dry, I scrub off the powder. I notice I have a few bare spots, so with my Pro Base, I'm just gently pushing it into those bare areas, and with a toothpick, I'm going to pick up and place a few glitter pieces. Now it's time for our clear dip powder. So with my Pro Base, I am going to overlap. If you notice here, I'm going over where my last line ended with the overlay, all the way over to the sidewall. So I did go on top of some of the pink because I want to even out the entire nail surface. Just pouring the clear dip powder over top, letting it absorb into the powder, making sure the entire nail is covered, and then tapping off. You'll see here, I have an even surface now, so there's no ledge, no ridge, because I filled it in with the clear. Now I'm going to do an entire layer across the whole nail so that I have one even smooth surface and so I don't buff through any of the glitter pieces. Now just pouring the clear dip powder over top, making sure everything is fully covered. This is the last step of our little color block Easter design. So I'm going to show you guys one more example on my middle finger. So I'm just doing the same steps, making sure I'm going slow, watching my line, trying to get it straight down the center of my nail, get all the way to the sidewall without getting it on my skin. So you might be wondering, why didn't I do 2 dips of color? So I wanted it to be a softer look, just like an egg would be. So I preferred the way it looked when I only did 1 layer of color on the nail. I also wanted to make sure it wasn't too bulky because if you remember, we need at least 1 layer of clear on top of the glitter. So what I was finding when I was practicing this was if I did the 2 dips of color, and then I did the spotted overlay on top, I still needed a layer of clear and it just felt and looked too bulky. So this is definitely a trust the process moment where you have to trust that the colors that you picked are pigmented enough that you can do 1 layer. So absolutely practice it on a swatch stick, see how the colors look. Ultimately, I chose these because they were pigmented enough for me to do 1 layer And when I do the overlay and all of the clear on top, it really does blend it and cover it all up. So you don't see any missing area or any bare spots. It blends it so beautifully. The overlays are a breeze to use. The glitter pieces go on beautifully. I chose to pour it over because I liked the sparse look. I didn't want it to be overpowered by laying my nail in and having too much glitter, so that is why I decided to pour it over. Now I'm just overlapping the pro base a little bit on top of that blue to blend in where the colors meet and make sure I create an even surface again. Now I'm going to do my last full layer on the entire nail to protect the glitter, to make sure I have an even surface when I go to File, Shape, and Buff. I don't want to bore y'all to death with repetition, so I'm going to finish up the other nails off camera. I am so smitten with this design. Here is my inspo picture that I found on Pinterest. I am sure it would be a lot easier to do this with gel, but you know what? Y'all know I'm a dip powder girl, so I had to go with dip powder. So here is my activator step. I'm just applying a very generous layer of this to all of the nails, and then I will file, shape, and buff off camera. I am all done. I got these babies into shape, and now we're going to do another layer of activator to all of the nails. Now I'm going to let them dry for 2 minutes before I go in for top coat. Now with a dry napkin, I'm just going to rub it across the entire top surface of the nail to make sure I don't have anything left over before I do my top coat. So I grab my finish gel. My first layer is just 3 quick strokes on the nail. I always wipe my brush off on a napkin as well before returning it to the bottle. I had every intention of doing this mani matte, and I was just going with the motions of application, and I totally forgot what I was doing. So I love it either way, shiny or matte, but I think matte would have been really beautiful too. Now I'm just going to let them dry here for a second and go in for my second coat. So this second coat is a lot more detailed. I'm more precise, making sure I get all the way to the sidewalls and really capping off my free edge area. So I do see that the overlay trio is sold out on their website, but Revel was so sweet and gave me 1 extra set to give away to you guys. So all you have to do to be entered is just comment down below and let me know which shade of these 3 is your favorite, and you will be entered to win one of these speckled overlay trios. So now I'm gonna let these dry and then apply some cuticle oil real quick and catch up in just a sec. So here's the finished look, and I am so in love. It absolutely was a labor of love, but it was worth it. Definitely give this a try on a swatch stick first if you want to see how the colors look, how they play well together, and if you need, don't be afraid to do a second layer of color. I just chose not to for my own personal preference, but if you need more strength or more color opacity, go for it. That's the beauty of DIY nails. Don't be afraid to experiment and to try it out. If you celebrate Easter, I hope you have an amazing holiday. Even if you don't, I hope you have a wonderful weekend, and I will see y'all in the next video.